Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Wow, what a crowd. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you. Well, before we begin, I have to tell you that runway is like an ice skating rink. And the first step, I said, you know, this sucker is slippery. I think it was put in by the Democrats. That's why. I don't know, whoever the hell got that thing, that's a trap. I'm telling you, it's like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying that for? Don't pay the bill. Okay? Because that is crazy, fellas. So next time, you know, we don't want to have that. Can you imagine if I went down, the press would have a field day for weeks and weeks. They'd say, he went down. He made a mistake. Look at that. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? You got hit with a little hurricane called Michael. That was not a nice hurricane, I can tell you that, but it's going well. And I'm thrilled to be here with really, truly incredible men and women of the Florida Panhandle. Your strength and devotion and values are what truly make America great and what make America run. You know that. You love our country, you're proud of our history, and you always respect our great American flag. Right? And things are going good for you and for our country. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you. That's the guy, but I love him, all right? Whoever the hell you are, I love you. And I got a call from your great representatives, and they said, President, they want to close Tyndall because it got beat up badly. It got beat. In fact, we have our best planes there. The F-22 is incredible, incredible fighter jet, the most beautiful plane I think I've ever seen. And some of them were damaged, but we lost none. We lost none. 7 were very badly damaged. They lost none. And today I'm doing the most allowed by law to support the people of Florida. Because of the severity of this storm, Category 5, we will have the federal government pay for 90% of the cost in many circumstances. Instead of wasting time, energy, taxpayer dollars on partisan stunts and hoaxes and witch hunts, Democrats should be focused on building up our country. Did you see what just happened, by the way? No collusion, no obstruction, no anything. 2 years on a witch hunt. I could have gotten anybody in this audience. I could have found something on you. And now the Democrats, we have a great attorney general, now the Democrats are saying, we want more. You know, it was going to be like, we want the Mueller report. Now they say, Mueller report? No, we want to start all over again. It is a disgrace. We got to focus on infrastructure. We have to focus on lowering medical prices and medicine. Always focus on our military and our vets, which we've done. And the Democrats really should be focused now on restoring and helping the Emerald Coast of Florida, because that's what it is. It's time to come together for the people of Panama City, for the people of Florida, for the people of our country. It's time to stop this nonsense. They think they're going to win. Did you see the one man? He said, it's the only way we're going to beat him in 2020. They have to do this. The only way well, that's a compliment, I guess. But think of what he said. It's the only way they're going to beat me. And actually, it's working the other way, because now we have our best poll numbers that we've ever had. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we want to work with them, and we want to do infrastructure. We want to do all of the things that you know about, and we're going to get it done. Nobody's done so much as all of us, because it's not just me. I'm a messenger. I've done a good job as a messenger. I've done a good job, but you've done a great job because you came from all over. You came from all over. You voted. They didn't know you. They didn't know that you folks existed in many cases. The invisible people And you know what you are? You're the smartest. You're the hardest working. You pay your taxes. You do all of this stuff. Great jobs, great talents. You're the best looking people, that's for sure. You ever see, I joke about this, but it's really not joking. They call themselves the elite. You ever see the elite? This is the elite. They're not elite, you're elite. So this is an incredible time for our country. America is thriving again, America is winning again, and America is being respected again. We're respected. In fact, one of the Democrats today said that it's a he, sleepy person, said that he heard from a lot of foreign leaders, and they want him to be president. Of course they do, so they can continue to rip off the United States. Of course they do. Of course. I think if I heard that, I'd never vote for him. And then you have Bernie. Then you have Bernie. You got some real beauties. Crazy Bernie. You got a choice between Sleepy Joe and Crazy Bernie. And I'll take any. Let's just pick somebody, please, and let's start this thing. Let's start it. Pick somebody. We have a young man, boot edge. They say edge. He's got a great chance, doesn't he? He'll be great. Representing us against President Xi of China. That'll be great. I want to be in that room. I want to watch that one. By the way, you see the tariffs we're doing? Because they broke the deal. They broke the deal. So they're flying in. The vice premier tomorrow is flying in. Good man. But they broke the deal. They can't do that. So they'll be paying, if we don't make the deal, nothing wrong with taking in over $100 billion a year. $100 billion. We never did that before. And we have that happening, a lot of good things happening with a lot of countries. You always have alternatives, folks. Our economy is now the hottest anywhere on earth, and it's the envy of the world. Since the election, we've created nearly 6 million new jobs, including more than 500,000 manufacturing jobs and nearly 700,000 new construction jobs. Numbers that if I would have said this during the campaign, those people back there, I call them the fakers, fake news media. The fakers would have said he exaggerated. They are a bunch of fakers, there's no question about it. But you know, in 6 years, they're all going to be out of business, folks. They're all going to be out of business. Now, if we want to drive them crazy, I'll say in 10 years, they'll go crazy. See, he is a despot. Well, 10 or 14, let's see, whatever we like, right? Watch, it'll be headlines tomorrow. Donald Trump wants to break constitutionality. Guy just screamed out 14 more years now. 14 more years. Thank you. And as I stand here floating around on a piece of ice, this is crazy. I'm a little bit concerned about leaving the podium I'm holding. You have no idea what I'm going through on this stage. This is the worst damn stage I've ever seen. I've never seen it. Stupid people did this one. No, or brilliant. Or brilliant. They may be the enemy. I mean, we pay for the military and we're defending nations that are so rich. And I say to him, King, you got to do me a favor. You got to pay. But nobody has ever asked for money. I said, no, you got to pay. You got to pay. We lose billions and billions of dollars, individual countries. And you know, it's one thing if we're helping people who are being horribly treated and they don't have money and the countries are, it's one thing. It's another thing if we're dealing with countries that are loaded with cash, make a fortune, and we're defending them for a tiny fraction of what it costs. It's ridiculous. So it's all changing, a lot of changes. One country, I won't say the country, but one country we spend a lot of money on, defending, very dangerous territory. And it costs us $5 billion. And I said to a general, please do me a favor, General, tell me, how much does it cost for us to defend this country, which is very rich? Sir, I will check. He comes in and, sir, it's $5 billion, sir. I said, that's okay. Now, how much do they pay us? Sir, they pay us $500 million. I say, we lose $4.5 million to defend a country that's rich as hell and probably doesn't like us too much. Can you believe it? And we've been defending it for many years. So I called the leader of the country. I said, you know, it's not fair. We're spending all of this money, great danger, and we have our men and women, they're the best in the world, and we're sending them over to your country. Not fair. You got to pay. You got to pay. And he said, like the king, he said, but nobody's ever asked us that before. I said, that's because you had stupid people running. So they said, thank you. He said, I could give you 100 stories like this. He said that we can't do anything now because it passed our so-called parliament. And so we can't. It doesn't come due. When's next year? He said 2 months. I said, all right, pay me something now. How much will you pay? We can't pay you more than $500 million. I got to say, this is one phone call, right? So I said, make it $750. Now, that's a long way short of $4.5 billion that we're losing. But I said, make it $750. Anyway, we agreed to a number around $500 million. It was one phone call that lasted for 10 minutes. And once they got over the shock of being, they had plenty of money. And now the 2 months is up. And I just told my people, call them and ask for the rest of it, okay? Under the previous administration, the United States lost nearly 250,000 manufacturing jobs. You remember that? They let other countries raid our factories, steal our jobs, and rob us blind. Other than that, they were very nice. They allowed China to freely loot our economy, plunder our intellectual property, and target our industries for destruction. That's what was happening. And look, President Xi is a friend of mine, great guy, but he's for China. I'm for the USA. I'm for the USA. So, we're going to see. They come in tomorrow, and whatever happens, don't worry about it. It'll all work out. You know why? It always does. Don't worry about it. There's no pressure because, you know, we're the piggy bank that everybody wants to rob. You understand that? So we have the thing that everybody wants. We're now the biggest market in the world by far. I'll tell you, China was catching us. If another person happened to be in this position right now, first of all, there'd be about 10 people instead of all the people. Hey, I wish the cameras could spin around and show this massive field, you know? They won't do it. They won't do it. They never do it. They don't like to show it. And, you know, I actually try and explain the ones that are semi-friendly. I said, you know, it's good for your production value to do that. Your production values are much better. Yep, let them know it. Now look at this field. They never show it. They will show the people behind me. Congratulations. They may have a lousy seat, but you know what? They'll be famous tomorrow. But it is true. They never like to show the crowds. I went to Texas, and I made a speech. And Beto, boy, is he falling like a rock. What the hell happened to Beto? So we went to El Paso, and I made a speech, and we had an arena that holds 8,000 or 9,000 people. The arena was packed. We had 35,000 people outside. We had these massive movie screens outside, so those people that couldn't get in could see. He had 502 people. The next day in the news, the New York Times guy actually wrote a story that he thinks that he had more people than me. Can you believe this? No, can you believe it? No, so dishonest. And most of them just said, two massive crowds were in it. Well, his crowd was not massive. He had like 502 people, according to the people that count crowds. So we get a very bum press, but that's okay, because we're here and they're not, right? We're here and they're not. Very dishonest people. And maybe it'll change. You know, what's wrong with having a strong military, good education, a strong economy? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. The hatred is incredible, but let's just keep it going, folks, because that's the way it is. So I just announced that we'll increase tariffs on China. And we won't back down until China stops cheating our workers and stealing our jobs. And that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, we don't have to do business with them. We don't have to do business. We can make the product right here if we have to, like we used to. Remember? Like we used to. The era of economic surrender is over. The last administration also signed a disastrous trade deal with South Korea that cost our country nearly 100,000 jobs, but it was really 250,000 jobs. And if you remember, our Secretary of State at the time and our President at the time said, this will give 250,000 jobs. And he and she were right, except it was for South Korea, not for us. It's a loser. And we totally renegotiated the Korea trade deal to restore these jobs and rescue the American auto industry, because that was going to be a tremendous hit. And that deal is done. South Korea. Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, witch hunts, and delusions. The Republican Party is the party for all Americans. We want to make America great again. That's what we're doing. Earlier this year, I signed an executive order to defend free speech on college campuses. Do you see what I'm saying? And we are carefully monitoring the actions of social media giants. Big tech must not censor conservative or other voices. I also withdrew the United States from the horrible Iran nuclear deal. And unfortunately, just today, I felt compelled to authorize new sanctions on Iran's iron, steel, aluminum, and copper industries, because I hope to be able at some point, maybe it won't happen, possibly won't, to sit down and work out a fair deal. We're not looking to hurt anybody. We want a fair deal. We just don't want them to have nuclear weapons. That's all we want. With every last ounce of heart and hope and sweat and soul, we are going to make our stand. We are going to stand for liberty. We are going to stand for justice. We are going to stand for faith, family, and freedom. And we are going to stand for the sacred rights given to us by the hand of Almighty God. We are one united movement, one united people, and one United States of America. And together with the proud people of the Panhandle, the proud people of Florida, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Florida. Thank you very much.